do is, so before proceeding for journal publication, you can do some basic desk kind of research work in your desk level only. So what is the problems? Sorry, what are the publications I have done previously? What are the journals there? If I submit those journals again, what will happen if it is going to publish or not? Some kind of basic information which you are already familiar. So try to submit in them only because you have already experience in handling those journal publication process. The next alternative for choosing a journal is having consulting with your senior authorities or supervisors or any other experts. So they will give you some kind of information which will help in selecting a best journal. But obviously that will be a new kind of environment and we should be very uh, interest. We should be very active or interest in submitting those journals. Now third one, very interesting one. You can use some journal finder tools, generally which are offered by every publisher. Every publisher, they have their own journal suggesting environment. So those will help you in selecting the best journal in either in that particular publisher or in other publishers also. So the fourth option you can use is you can randomly search for any call for papers for special issues for both journals or conferences, etc. Right. So these are the some points where you can start selecting a journal. So the third one is very important one. We can go for that one. So target journal selection. So you can use any publisher websites or publishing platforms or any third party platforms. So there you can they will have some prompting questions like what are the keywords, what are the title, etc. What are the abstract you have. Just you can give those inputs automatically. They will suggest you the uh, best suitable journal for your work. So in this actually I want to go for a real-time demo, something like that. So this is first to best to website, a third-party website, researcher.live. There you can go there, you can select how you want to search a particular journal. So you can go there, you can paste the abstract what you have drafted. For example, here I am drafting one paper abstract with title and abstract. Just I am pasting here. Now find best suitable journal. So this website will give you, it's a third party journal, it will give you the most promising or most suitable journal with full details. You can see this one. So this is my abstract. It is giving like 96 search results. You can have the options whether you want to go for open access or subscription based. That also you can see. So as per this journal for the abstract which I have pasted, it is giving the best suitable journal is entropy, which is supports open access, and these are the journal metrics and these are the indexing information. And this right side you can have some filters also. So how much time you want to get it published. Suppose I want to publish within 3 months only. Just you can apply. It will give you the most suitable journal, which can. So these are the 14 results I have received. The average period of publication time is less than 3 months. Right. So like this, you can have multiple options. You can explore it. You can decide the original impact factor and all. So this is the, as of my experience, I can say this is the best way to identify which journal is good based on your title and abstract. So this is one platform, researcher.life. So it's covering around 30,000 journal information. So which will helps in selecting the best suitable journal. Right? So now after this, there is one more website is there, eDance. So eDance will give you same kind of support where It covers around 28,656 journals. So there also you can paste your abstract, right? So you can go for search. Ma'am, this is our visible, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Yes, something. So this is suggesting some journals, right? Journal name plus one is who is the publisher and what kind of impact factor. So like you will get some information here. So this is also one platform for finding a best journal. Instead of that, you want to go for a specific publisher based. So mostly every publisher, they are also having the same kind of setup, but they will suggest only their own publication journals only. So in that one is Elsevier. So in the Elsevier also we have the same one. So there you can paste your this abstract. So now Elsevier is giving some suggestions also. So it is giving, I mean, this for this abstract it is giving some information science. What is the impact factor? What is the site score? And desk decision is for 3 days, and review decision and acceptance is about 182 days. And some information, what is the acceptance rate, whether it is supporting what kind of application. So if it is open access, how much amount we have to pay. If it is subscription type, what is the amount and all. So you will get more information like this one. So you can have a chance to decide what kind of journal you want to go. This is a first step in your journal selection process. So based on the title, based on the abstract, based on your paper quality, you can select a target journal using different third-party websites or publisher-based websites. So then you can have write down or note down some of the journal names where you want to publish, and then go for Scopus website. Just in that Scopus website, just search what are the details, whether these details are correct, what are the subject areas it is covering, right? So there you can see, for example, information science. So it is supporting from Scopus in 1968 to 2025. So the details are given, the major subject areas where it is covering. So one common problem generally we are facing is our paper is in one kind of domain, and we will try to submit the work in another kind of domain. So where domain mismatch will come, so immediately within 3 to 4 days you will receive a mail that your paper is not in a position to accept for further processing. So this is what desk editor will be there. He will check the subjects, whether you are as per the standard journal subjects or not. So this is something where we are generally missing. Right? Then after this, you can go there, you can see the site score. This is also very, very important. So site score is now, for example, 14.0. So my suggestion is if you are any journal where the site score is 1 and above, it's good journal to submit. You can prefer to submit minimum 1. If it is less than 1, please don't submit. By next year that those journals may be removed from Scopus. So that's why you should verify the site score for a period of 3 years at least. So in 2023, it is 114.0. In 2022 also, you can see 13.4. In 2021, it is 12.1. That means you can see a progressive improvement in terms of site score. So 12.1, then 13, now it became 14. So periodically the site score is improving. That means the journal is doing effectively, and there may not be any problem with journal in the coming next 5 to 6 years minimum. So this is the way to decide whether to go with that particular journal or not. So apart from that, there is one more is there, Scopus content coverage. So this is also will help in making a decision to submit that particular journal or not. So you can see every year how many papers it is submit. I mean, it is indexed in the Scopus. So on average, you can see 1.1300, 1200 something change. So this is maintaining a good standard. So this journal is doing good, and obviously you can take second level of decision to submit or proceed with that particular journal. So this is related to Scopus, and similarly you can also check for Simago. So in the Simago also you can have more information. So for example, for the same information science, so the country, the subjects, what is the H index, uh, and what is the coverage area, this one. So Simago generally will have very late updation compared to Scopus. So in Scopus now we have there 2025, but it is still not updated. It is in 2024 only. So there you can see whether these are all why I am explaining is whether a journal is good journal or not. Second is whether the journal is an authenticated journal or not. Because in the online environment, we could see number of duplicate proxy or phishing websites or hijacking websites. There is one more cases for publication, hijacking. Till the payment, the journal will act like a original. Once the payment was done, that entire domain or website will disappear. So because of these reasons only, you should verify in multiple platforms whether the journal is giving correct information, whether the journal is authentic, or can we proceed to publish in that journal or not. So in the SJR, you can have the quartile values, whether it's a Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, like information you can find here. So this is one second platform to check the authenticity of the journal. Similarly, you can go for Web of Science. In Web of Science also you can see what kind of indexing it is, when it is started, their metrics and their values. So I think I hope something understood, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And maybe I'm going a little faster. I don't know. If you are having anything, please just.
Fine, sir.
Right. Thank you. So now the question, after selecting a target journal, so what will be the next criteria? See, we have selected a journal, we have decided, we have verified the metrics values, and also now the second case comes here. Obviously not so important, but we should take care of these points also. So one is the journal follows scope policy? This is very important. So because every journal which is publishing any research paper, they should be approved by COPE only. Right? Even if Springer is there, some of the Springer journals very recently they are removed from COPE, but still they are working as a good journals. So this is a problem where we will face generally. So we should check whether the journal follows the COPE policy or not. Next, what are the subject areas it is covering? So why the reason is, if you are compromised in validating the subjects, and even the editor or some, if you're able to manage some peer review process. So this time it is okay, may not be a problem. But after once it is published, they will again verified by the COPE, and the COPE will immediately sends sends the retraction notice. So these are the some areas, major areas where we do retractions. So that's why we should be very careful when we selecting any journal, whether this is the subject matching with my research subject or not. Then third one is editorial board. Who are the editors here? Who are the chief editor? Who are the associate editors? The reason is the editorial board members and their affiliations will suggest what kind of research they are working, what kind of institutes they are working, and those will help in making the journal metrics and the process. So editorial board is also very important. Now verify what is its peer review policy. Every journal will have their own peer review policy, and that peer review policy is also supported by the COPE. And now in which databases it is indexing like Scopus, Web of Science or any other indexing. Next, is it supporting any abstracting? So by default, every publisher in every journal, they have to show abstract as a free of cost. This is the policy made by the COPE. In every journal, whether it is a free journal or any paid journal or subscription based journal, the title, author details, and abstract and references. These are the four things which are commonly made available in the public domain. So this is what subtracting. And now the open access policy. So how they will publish our papers and how they are distributed in the public domain. Then last one is what are the publication options, like whether there is a APC is there or not. If APC is there any geographical concession for publishing in that particular journal or not? Whether it is as per the United Nations guidelines in collecting the money and all. So these are all details will be covered in the publication options. But apart from selecting a journal, and I hope these are the additional points we should consider while submitting for any journal. So these are something related to journal indexes and what are the journal indexing bodies are available. So just I would like to give a glance only. So indexing process supported by three different variations. One is owned by the government agencies like UGC Care in India. Under UGC, they are maintained a list of publications as UGC care list, and all Indian universities are allowed to publish in UGC care list only. Like in America, yes, they have PubMed. So some of the, even in Australia, Germany, even Japan, they have their own government owned and maintained public bodies for indexing services. And second type of indexing is owned by companies like Clarivate Analytics. Previously, it was under Taylor and Francis. Now, Clarivate Analytics take over the Web of Science process, where they are giving indexing for this Web of Science related different indexing like SCI, social science, even latest one conference citation index and all. Now, third category like Scopus, which are owned by publishers only. So, Elsevier is the publishing company which created Scopus. Now, Scopus is we all know why it is so important in the publication industry, right? Now, these are some abstracting and indexing. Simago is there, Inspec from IEEE, and DBLP also is having their own indexing. Even Google Scholar, a couple of years back, Google Scholar also was not in indexing. Now they are allowed for indexing under Google Scholar also. And directory of open access journal. So these are the some other indexing types, categories. Right. So now the question is, we have drafted the paper, we have a target journal is selected, we have verified all review policies under. Now we need to verify the journal validation. So we have verified the database indexing, what kind of indexing we want to publish, like Scopus or SCI something. Now we have to verify research metrics. What is its site score or impact factor? Even we know that impact factor one and above, generally UGC also made mandatory to publish in one and above. Even site score also, it is advisable to select a journal where the site score is one and above. See, open access policy, DOI, and whether it is a fake or cloned or predatory journal. So these are the some journal validation points we should consider. So once we have done with all these, we can proceed further. Now this is related to Web of Science. Just I am skipping here. I do not want to extend it. So what is Web of Science? What it is covering and all? Scopus and Schemago, DBLP. Right. So research metrics. This is very important one. How the journals impact factor will be calculated, or how the journals site score will be calculated. So site score is calculated for Scopus and impact factor is calculated by the Web of Science. So generally site score is evaluated for 4 years of citations or citation received in 4 years, and that maintained under Scopus database. And impact factor will be evaluated based on the citations received for 2 plus 1, 3 years total. So there are some different formulas also there. They will evaluate, and every year the Scopus will release updated site score, and Web of Science also will release updated impact factor. So apart from this, the Scopus will release cumulative 3-year impact factor and 5-year impact factor. And we should see that these factors or site scores, whatever it may be, they should be progressive. So year by year, it should be progressive, mean those journals are doing well. And we don't have any issue if we submit for them for publication. Other types of metrics other than site score and impact factor is SNMP. We have source normalized impact factor. So that is also you should consider about 1 and above. And SJR also will give ranking, but in terms of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And alternative metrics is there, and eigenfactor is there, which are used by IEEE. Inspec is one more is there, that is also used by the IEEE. So there are some other alternative metrics for measuring the research. Now the open access is also very important. Most of the journals nowadays, they are making open access. That means whatever the publication or paper we will submit, they will be made freely available in the online for others to read and comment, or even for extend their research work. So these are all covered under Creative Commons licensing, CC. Now the recent one is CC 4.0. So according to CC 4.0, we will have some options, and based on the options, our published work will be made available for everyone. And if everyone can access, can do, modify, can extend their research work, especially the academic research work, they are making mandatory in the open access, and the research work done through funding. The research work done through funding mostly, they are also making open access in the public domain. So these are also important to check whether the journal is supporting any open access or not. So for that, so this is DOAJ website is there. This website will be useful for to check whether the journal, whether it is supporting open access policy or not. Even if it is supporting, what kind of permissions or provisions we have under this DOAJ or open access. For example, I want to search IEEE access. So now I can see only 2 journals, IEEE open access one and IEEE open access journal of power and energy. So in the right hand side, you can see everything related to that journal. So what is its actual APC, and is there any other charges are there? And what are the permissions owned by the publisher, and what are the permissions owned by the author? So what kind of CC it is covering? So these are very useful for us, so that our citations, our research impact will be increased if you publish your paper in any open access journals. So this not only for this one, so this journal you can also use for exploring other kind of. For example, I want to see computer science. So under computer science 250, under technology 251 indexed journals are there. And it's a very good platform to select which journal is collecting money, which journal will not collect money, even if you want to publish your work as a free of cost. So where to search whether it is authenticated or not. So no need to worry. We can go directly DOAJ. So there you can give your inputs, which kind of journal or which kind of work, and you can select one particular journal, and immediately you can have this information at the right hand side. So this is one journal, Journal of Internet and Software Engineering. There it is, you can clearly you can see that there is no APC or there is no other charges. So this journal is a free journal which will publish free of cost. Then you can also find the website for this journal. So what is the website of this journal? So this is journal. There you can check remaining process, like whether what kind of indexing it is, whether it is a Scopus or Web of Science or any normal or other indexing journal. So you can, so like this website is very useful. So this is about DOI agent. So after open access, the next immediate question will come is what kind of open access publication options we have, like golden open access, green open access, platinum or diamond, or subscription based. So mostly we have only two major types. One is open access, and second one is the subscription based. And generally, for any research author, for example, so he will be given two kinds of provisions, whether you can opt for golden open access or subscription access. So these are the inputs about what are the publication models we have, what is fully open access and what is hybrid open access or subscription based. So now CC values, how to read and analyze CC values. So this is also very important. What kind of CC, Creative Commons version are licensing the journal which where we are going to publish. What is the this one? So this CC value is important here is even if your paper is published, for example, in subscription model, your paper is published. That means you can see, I mean, the other people will see only the abstract or title only, and you will get your own personal copy. But you are not supposed to share your personal copy in any public domain, because you are not protected under CC version. Your publication was carried under subscription model, and you are not supposed to share. So where SCA, this you can see that SCA. That SCA value is disabled for your kind of publication. So you cannot use that paper to upload in any public domain or any research gates. So what will happen is, because of that, your paper visibility will be reduced, and your citations will also reduce, and the impact also will be reduced. So this is something where we need to think about, and we should work mostly towards open access journal only. So to improve our citations and research impact. This is matrix for what kind of permissions we can do with this open access. Now the publication policies, what is APC, when to, how to pay or when to pay, whether the APC is accepted. So these are the policies every web publisher will maintain their own publication policies related to open access and APC. And DOI is also one important object. We need to check whether the DOI they are giving correct or not. So this is something related to target journal selection, their metrics, their evaluation, validation, and what kind of open access policies they are supporting, and what kind of APC. So these are everything related to a good publisher. But now the case is where we used to receive number of mails that we have so and so journal, and within one day we will publish your work, and our journal is already indexed in the Scopus. Like we will receive number of mails and all, but actually they are not original journals, right? So we need to have a cross check whether the journal which or where we are going to submit our research paper, is it really a valid one or not. So we need to check the other side, where like whether it is a pediatric journal or a cloned journal or a fake journal, right? So how to check all this is, you can have the procedure, right? So pediatric journal is a journal where the publisher is original, a standard publisher only, but the editor will collect money from us, and he will manage the review process, and he will immediately send acceptance mail, and your paper will appear on the online. So it looks like that everything is maintained properly. But what will happen is after 1 year, you will receive a mail that so and so journal has manipulated the peer review process and we are retracting the paper. So this is the case generally nowadays we are getting retractions because of these predatory journals only, because the journal is original, editor is also original, the submission system process also original. But what is happening is collecting money in other way and doing a review on favorable review, and uh, so I mean making the paper online, and immediately when they submit their details for scope or any scopers, they will re-verify the publication history. They will check whether they are followed. There is a checklist for indexing the paper, whether in Scopus or in other indexing databases. They will check everything. If they got any uh, any wrong information, so immediately they will suspend all the journals which are produced by that particular, all the papers which are produced by that particular journal, and make them as retracted. So this is the care we should take when submitting the publication, right? So what kind of, that's why I said now verify editorial board. So the editorial board is very, very important. Their affiliations will help in deciding whether they are doing a good job, good work or not. So that is a predatory journal, and clone journal or pseudo clone journals are there. So which are purely fake journals, which looks like original journal. If you submit a paper within 24 hours, you will get acceptance, and you will get a Google Pay or Phone Pay number, and they will ask to pay the money in 1500 or 2000. So generally for as a faculty or as a author point of view, so within less time our paper is accepted and it is made available. So these are the things they do by clone journal people or pseudo journal people. So this is how to check or how to validate them is this one. So for example, this is one journal, joics.org. So there you can see within 24 hours, your paper is accepted, and publication is within 12 hours after your payment, and you can submit the paper to this mail ID, right? So generally what we will think is it is already in the indexing, Scopus indexing. So we used to say that so it's already Scopus, we will submit and we will see that everything is done in less time, and we will have a count of so and so, so and so. Now he is claiming the impact factor of 6.2, right? And there is a one video, that video will make you that this paper is already in Scopus. But actually what is the problem here, how to identify here is, just you can see, uh, editor, or they are asking to submit any paper with Gmail account. This is the first rule to verify whether this journal is a good journal or not. If any standard journal is there, they will accept to submit through their journal submission system only. They will have their own submission procedure. They will have their own websites or softwares. Through that only they will accept. If any journal is accepting to submit a paper through Gmail account, so technically it is a fake journal. And also you can see editorial board. So their editorial board also you can see no details about the editors. So what are they, where from, what are their affiliations, what kind of work they are having, right? So simply they have made one website, one web page, and indicating these are the editors. And you can see the aim and scope. So there are also whatever paper you submit, they will publish, right? So no guidelines, no indexing. No, you can see indexing. No indexing, right? Even the uh, issues. So every day they are collecting money from different publications, and And the bad thing here is the so-called government university professors are highly, doctorates are professors, are assistant professors. So most of them are submitting for this kind of journals only, right? And one blind thing you can see this DOI number. If you submit this, click on this DOI number, you can see a drive Google Drive link. Yes, Google Drive link. So the projection they are making as a DOI, but they are connecting to a local Google Drive, right? So this is the we need to do this kind of checks whether this journal is a clone journal or phishing journal or predatory journal. And there is one more is there, if you search in your Google Chrome and open in any Amazon or Facebook, immediately you will have some kind of notification about publication related information. So those are all like cloned journals or fake journals. So be careful while attending those kind of journals. So this is something I would like to give about clone journal and this one. Even the website UGC clearly maintaining a list of clone journals. So you should verify in that also whether this journal is already listed under UGC as a clone journal or not. Right. So this is one more journal you can see. Something like Adalia journal. A fake journal actually it is. But the original journal is this one. AKMED dot something. It's a Turkey journal with the name Adalia. This is original journal which is running from Turkey, and there is one more journal is there, adaliajournal.com, which is running from India, from Rajasthan actually. So we should be very careful while going for this kind of these journals. So these are related to clone journals only. So if they are accepting immediate money, if they are accepting, they wants to communicate through mails, and the websites, if they are maintaining within 24 hours or 12 hours or that kind of deadlines, so don't submit for that kind of journal. They are purely clone journals. Right. So there is one thing how to trace whether the journal is something like, there is a website for this also. Right. So this is related to now the very recently JOICS. Now they, you can see here I made as a capital I, JO capital ICS. So they have registered their website as JOICI, but they made the I value as a capital I. Now you can see here there are 30 times their IP address modified over the last 6 years. 30 times they have modified, right? And there is no a common registered agency. So they are simply duplicating the same work in different countries in different times. And if it is a generally, if it is a registered journal, with a registered website, you will have a preview here. So if you are not getting any preview about the journal, means this journal is not a original registered agency journal. This is sometimes like a proxy journal or working on a proxy IP addresses. So that also you can check here. For example, this is our GNet's website. Just I'm copying the gnets.ac.in. Just 1 second. Just I'm pasting our website, gnets.ac.in. Now you can see our website view. So the GNets logo, the bottom also you can see this. Right? Now what is the story of our IP address is last 3 years only 4 changes. That too with 4 unique IP addresses. So very rarely we are updating, and we have registered provider also. So their details also you can have each and every time where or when they have updated, you can get this information for our website. Right. So why I'm trying to explain this means even a standard publisher, they are also doing false prone works. Even the clone publisher or duplicate websites or journals also they are doing. But it's our choice. It's our time to decide where we are submitting, whether it is a good one or bad one. So sometimes after submitting, a good one can become a bad one because of our lack of information or because of our times, I mean, pressure or time being, we will submit anywhere, wherever you want, you can submit. Time being, the work may be done, but after you will face a problem in terms of other issues and retractions also. So better always have a clear idea before submitting to any journal. So who is the publisher? What kind of metrics it is having, whether it is fully authenticated or not. Is there any duplicate or proxy websites for this one? Mostly for a very successful journal publication, there are proxy websites. So how to check this one also we can do. So if any website or journal website where the site score is 1 or less than 1, there is a possibility of one proxy website for that particular journal. Because that's why I said every time when you are going to submit, just select a journal whose site score is 1 and above. So because of maintaining that 1 and above, it's a very difficult one. So there is a lot of effort will be there and standard procedure will be there. So for them, those websites cannot be duplicated. If any website with the site score of 0.2, 0.3, something like that, then most of the people they are easy for them to manage. So for them only you can have a proxy or duplicate website or cloned websites. So this is the time you should take a decision before submitting to anything. Just highlight, validate, and have some authenticated information about the journal, then only you can submit. That's why there is a one procedure called think, check, submit. So this is a checklist for submitting this one. So think. So multiple ways you can just think about the journal, metrics, standard, statistics, each and everything. Then check and then submit. So this is the procedure we have to follow for submitting any journal. So now this is think and check journals. So do you or your colleagues know about the journal? Can you easily identify and contact the publisher? Because most of the fake journals or fake publishers, they won't reveal their contact details. Next, is the journal is clear about the type of peer review it is using? Are the articles indexed in services? That is also second level. The published paper in so and so journal, go through that particular author website, Scopus page and check whether that paper is indexed or not. Now the amount details, whether they are clearly explaining, editorial board details. So you should check all these before making any submissions. Right? So this is something about selecting a good journal and cautioning about predatory or fake journals. Ma'am, can I have 10 more minutes?
Sir, sure, sir. Please
Yeah,
go ahead.
yes. So the next phase after deciding journal where to submit, or the next question comes here, submission process. So how to handle the submission process and what are the guidelines we need to follow when you are going for submission. Right. So before going for submission, uh, you have these kind of uh, answers, right? So is your article is good to fit in the target journal? So have you identified target journal, the scope of the target journal and your paperwork, if both are similar? So like a validation of target journal is done, something like. So once this is done, do you know the requirements for your target journal? So what are the requirements for your target journal? So third, instructions for author. Every publisher in their website, they clearly maintain instructions for authors. The first step you have to do for before submission is we have to go through that instructions for authors. We have to read and every point we have to understand, and there is a fake FAQs also there. So we should go through that each and every FAQ. So you should have a clear idea about that one, then only you can start for submission process. Now, what are the open access that journal is supporting? What are the editorial policies? What will happen if they accept? What will happen if they reject? What will happen during revisions? So like that, they have to define each and every procedure in their editorial policies. Next, do you know which submission system the journal uses? So every journal will have their own submission procedure. They will be asked to submit through some interface like softwares or tools only. So no one will ask to submit a mail through mail, right? So what is the kind of submission system they are using? Next, are the paper which we have drafted, is it as per the submission guidelines or not? So some websites or some journals, they don't want literature review as a separate heading. So most of them, they will say, see, some journals will support literature review as a separate section, and some journals they will say that this literature review should be a part of introduction. If you submit your literature survey as a separate where literature review as a part of introduction, that could be a single reason to drop your paper. So that's why we should go through the format, structure, guidelines, and generally we will say results and analysis. But some journals they won't use that kind of word, right? So we should be careful in that one. Now, have you understood the data sharing policy? This is also very important. Nowadays, the data sharing policy becoming very tedious, and you should disclose what kind of data you are using, from where you have taken, what are the permissions do you have, even if you are own your own data set, how you collected, how you validated, what is the procedure you are followed for validation. So you should disclose everything. So these are the something you need to be ready, then you can go for submission. So one is preparing your paper as per their template. So here we have two options. Some journals will have template, I mean format free submission. So they don't have any format. Simply they will submit in Word file. But in some journals, especially Scopus journals, where number of pages is a mandatory criteria, they will say to submit only in their prescribed format only. Even if you are not followed that format, your paper will be dropped. So this is also we should take care of this one, and what kind of references we have, whether it's a format free or with template, right? So these are something like now when submitting also. So make sure that you don't have any ambiguity or redundancy in the draft copy, grammatical errors or inconsistent terminologies or any biased kind of explanations. So you should be take care of this while preparing your manuscript. Then ethical consideration, you should mention what is the plagiarism policy, the journal they are following. Have you followed the same policy for drafting the paper or not? Like the Turnitin or authenticated uh, authorship criteria. So how many authors are listed in your manuscript? What are their roles and responsibilities in preparing that particular draft? So you should mention that point also. So, and one more, sometimes generally we used to go with 7 authors or 6 authors, and we will give only one author as the major contributor. That could be one more reason to drop your paper. So each and every author listed in the manuscript, they should have their equal kind of authorship in drafting or designing or revising or doing some comparative analysis, right? So this one. Now, conflict of interest also you should mention, because if you are with financial support or without financial support, you should mention that one also. And data transparency. So these are some ethical consideration you should disclose while preparing your manuscript before submission. You have to do this. During submission processes, generally every publisher they have their own online submission system. Just they will give you a video for how to submit. They will provide a PDF also, what are the steps to be followed for submission process. So you should go through that. You can watch the video, you can go through the PDF. You can have very clear idea about the submission process, then only start submission. So the one common mistake we will do is they will ask what are your research expertise. So we used to give 3 to 4. These are my research expertise, some X, Y, Z and all. But your paper, as an author, you have drafted one paper where that paper is not matching with your research expertise. So that could be also one reason they will question actually, right? Even the paper also will have some kind of domain, specific domain knowledge. If, for example, this paper is like computer vision, right? And your expertise is different. You are belongs to some other electrical or something where it is not fully related, right? And one author is from. See, these are the some common mistakes we will do while submitting this one. So whatever the expertise you have, you should mention those expertise in the paper also. So according that only your paper will be get through for next phase, right? Then one more important one is you have to submit a cover letter. You have to write a cover letter to the editor stating that this is my original work. It is not published or not submitted anywhere, and these are the highlights of this one. So you should mention everything in the cover letter. Then and you have to this. So all these things you have to draft, make them ready, and submit through online system. And this is one more latest trend. It is coming. Most of the publisher they are asking for visual abstract. So you have to prepare one visual abstract, a colorful maybe video or any PPT kind of version. You have to prepare and you have to submit for. You have to upload as a part of visual abstract because the people are don't have that much time to read your entire abstract. So that's why the next alternative they are planning is immediately they will ask for visual abstract. You have to prepare one visual chart, explain your entire abstract process, and you have to submit. So now the required documents during submission, paper submission is ethics approval. Have you followed any ethical related issues? Usage of AI tools usage, and what kind of what level of AI tools you have used, at what type of sections like introduction section or methodology. Somewhere we have used AI tools. You should mention the sections where we have used the AI tools, and consent. If you are you getting? I mean, we should get consent from works which are protected, right? So some works are protected and we need to get a consent from the authors of that protected work, and we have to mention in this as a consent and permissions, conflict of interest, and publishing consent also. So publishing consent is like a copyright form, but this is done, this we can done after acceptance only, right? So now this is how to write a cover letter, just like to whom, I mean, the editor we have to write. What is the title? What are the things we have followed during drafting the paper and doing the research work? We should mention everything, the declarations, implications, highlights about the work, and ethical usage of AI tools. Everything should mention in the cover letter. And this is one sample cover letter, how to write a cover letter, because the cover letter is also one of the major criteria for going to the next level of review process. So the general, this is where we used to fail, right? So these are some important points: understanding the submission procedure and platform, and uploading all necessary files, figures, tables, whichever required during the submission process. And images also, if needed, we have to upload separately, and the details of authors and co-authors, including affiliations and email addresses. Now, co-authors agreement also we should mention. So generally, when collaborative work we have done, authors from different countries. So in what way have we both collaborated? What kind of work we exchanged, and even any financial commitment in that one also we should mention. And anonymized version of your paper, that is also now they are asking. So here means you have to remove all our details, only title, abstract, and remaining thing where you are not supposed to disclose any of your identity in the paper. So that is anonymized version of your paper. So because during review process, the reviewer are not able to get the details about the others. So in that way, they are asking, see something review. So they are very routine keywords connecting with Scopus ID and RCID ID. So we should mention our APC status in the covering letters, right? Reference styles, disclosure statement. Good. So these are all the things we need to follow during submission process. If everything is ready and we have done everything as per the submission procedure, just submit everything, upload it, and you will be uh, redirected for submission, successful submission. So what will happen after submission is the peer review process will start. So what happens when you submit a paper is the editor first initially the desk editor will be there. The desk editor will open, will verify whether it is as per the template, whether it is as per the journal guidelines, whether it is covering all subject areas as per the journal. So the desk editor will verify. If desk editor assure the quality of as per the template and all, it will be forwarded to editor. If a desk editor itself unable to identify as per the journal standards, immediately you will get a mail that your paper is not suitable to publish in our journal. So now once the editor receives the paper from desk editor, the editor will assign reviewers, 2 or 3 reviewers based on their review policy to review your paper. Now, peer review meaning is review done by peers who are not directly or indirectly connected to our work. I mean our personal identities, right? So the peer review, how to select a reviewer. So these are all the editor will do. Based on some criteria, he will select the reviewers and the papers will be sent for them for review. So what is a peer review? So peer review is like assessing the suitability of our paper to publish it or not. So peer reviewer generally the third persons, mostly the third person, not from author and editor. They will check the suitability of the paper, novelty, originality, and as per the societal requirement, they have their own guidelines. According to that guideline, they will check everything and they will suggest to whether it can be published or not. So that is done by the peer review. So why peer review is like making the system more robust, easy to read and more useful, and reproducibility is one more criteria we have. So peer review will suggest whether it is reproducible for other researchers or not. Right. So now what a reviewer will expect from author is originality, methodology, validity, and the clarity. So these are the major criteria they will see uh, a reviewer from any research paper or any author. Right. Now, even for peer review also, COPE has made some guidelines, standard guidelines, and every publisher has to follow these guidelines during the peer review process. And if the peer review process itself is the basic reason whether a paper is retracted or not. Most of the papers we are getting retraction is because of compromised in the peer review process. So that's why COPE or publisher, they must ensure their confidentiality, integrity, and the standard in the peer review process. So what are the key consideration during the peer review? So research relevance. No, these are very repeated one learning. Originality, clarity, quality. So these are main key considerations every reviewer will check from our paper. And mostly the peer review process, why the paper is not selected or not recommended is these are some common mistakes generally we will do. contradicting conclusions with the evidence. So we will write in one orientation, but our experiments results will be in different orientation and methodological concerns. So hypothetically, the methodology may be correct, but practically there may be a problem in deriving the results and not following the key processes and clarity, style, and the language. Right. Now, this is the peer review process. How the peer review process will be carried. So I said earlier, so admin or desk editor will check if it doesn't fit to that journal standard, immediately will get a desk rejection. Our editor in chief will assign some associate editor or editor. Now that associate editor or editor will invite some reviewers, and the reviewers are selected based on their reviewer score. Actually, this reviewer score is already maintained by Clarivate Analytics. When you review any paper, that will be recorded in your profile, and the score or impact based on the paper that will be improved. So whenever there is any requirement of reviewer, the Web of Science will maintain this information. That information will be shared with editors, and the editors will assign randomly the review process. So this is also you can check in your Web of Science profile page. If you have done any review of any SCA standard paper, that paper information will be automatically updated in your profile page also. So then after reviewer suggestion, the editor-in-chief will make a decision. If any revisions are required, that will be sent back to the authors and revisions will be carried out. And final decision will be like revise, resubmit, accept or reject. So this is the common work peer review process followed. Apart from there are some, I mean, this is purely depending on the journal. So every journal will have their own peer review process. Just I am going to show some related this one. This is done one kind of peer review process. But same thing, everyone will do the same process only. This is in another journal. Their peer review process will be like this. And some journals, they will go 2 to 3 reviewers. And in some journals, up to 10 reviewers, they will go. So depending upon the quality and subscription, I mean APC. If you are agree to pay full APC, your paper will be reviewed by 2 or 3 reviewers only, and immediately will get your decision. But you are going with subscription based policy, where your paper will be reviewed by more than 10 reviewers and it will take time. This is the reason why the review process is taking too much time. You are fully APC, agree to pay full APC, within less time you will get your review comments and the review process will be done in a faster way. If it is a free journal kind of work, it will take time for publication and review also. Now types of peer reviews are different. We have single blind and double blind. Most of the publishers will follow double blind peer review, and our paper will be sent for 2 reviewers anonymously. They will check and will give some feedback on this. And open peer review, there is one more is there. Our paper first will publish directly on the journal web page, and it allow others to review and suggest or give some comments on this one. Then transparent peer review, that is also one of the peer review. And post publication. In transparent peer review, the author itself will suggest some names as a reviewers. So author will give some names. These are my expected reviewers from my side. So the editor will contact those reviewers given by the authors. They will review and they will, I mean, based on the recommendation of the reviewer, the next remaining process will continue. So that is where transparent peer review will come. Post publication review also there, that is also we can see. So but all this review process, what they are following, each and every information they will mention clearly in their review policy. So we have to go through that review policy, then we have to take a decision to submit or not. Right. So now what are the roles and responsibilities of author and reviewer? and the editor during this entire process. So author will submit, will receive comments, will modify, will resubmit based on the suggestions, and the reviewer, as per the journal policy, they will review. They will check for originality, confidentiality, and ensure the novelty in that one. And there should not be any flaws in the drafting of the paper. So every detail they will check and they will report to editor. Now editor, once the reports are received, the editor or chief editor will take a decision to accept or send to reject. And based on major, accept with major revision or accept with minor, result decision will be taken by the editors or associate editors. Now the peer review report. So what this actually I would like to show this one. So this is the Springer review format. So they will be, their questions will be like this. So what is your recommendation? Is the experimental procedure is followed or not? Or something like, is the presentation of the work is clear or not? So like this, they have their own questionnaire, and the reviewer will start answering about the questionnaire. These questionnaires will be converted into some numbers. That numbers will suggest whether to send acceptance or with modification, without modification or not, right? Now these are the review recommendation, like accept, reject, revision with major, revision with minor. And this is something you can see the what a reviewer will expect and what a author will see. So as a editor or reviewer, they will see only negatives. So they will try to highlight the negatives and they will try to uh, right. Right. Next, as an author, we always see the positive points from our drafting paper. So that you can see here. And one more, yeah, review and retraction. So nowadays, most of the papers are retracted because
Radhika
of
madam, please mute yourself.
right. So recently, most of the retracted papers are because of review only. Now I will give you one simple example. This is very interesting one. Uh, second. So you can see, I think it is visible. The article has been retracted at the request of the editor-in-chief. So the editor-in-chief commented that there are 13 citations are added during the suggested by the reviewers during the review process, and which are not which are not in line with the journal. So during review process, the reviewer recommended some citations of their own papers to be included in the paper. The author generally did as per the reviewer suggestions. But after publication, what is happened? Editor has identified that these references or citations are not in line with the journal. So now the paper is retracted. Just see the one simple reason. Even everything is went well, the reviewer recommended to include some references. The author is included. But after publication, they have identified that some of the references are out of the scope. And these references are uh, added because the reviewers recommended. There is no mistake with the author actually. But finally, what happened? The paper got retracted. So that's why the author made one clear statement. As strongly requested by the reviewers, here we cite some of the references. They have included this one because of the suggestions or recommendations from the reviewers we have included. See, during that time, it was not a big issue, but later what will happen? The entire paper, which is, I think it is from LC, that is completely retract. Yeah, can I use ChatGPT as my first reviewer? Yes, we can use ChatGPT, but the general ChatGPT is not enough to use. If you have any premium version, in that you can have a 03 mini, a separate model will be there. In that model, you just paste the entire content into that model and ask that critically review the academic content and give me the feedback. This is the command or prompt you have to give. Immediately you will get the major flaw.
Sir, you are muted. Prasanna sir, please unmute yourself.
Right. Is it okay, ma'am?
Ah, okay, sir.
Yeah, right. I think this is clear, ma'am.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So there is a certification course on peer review process. LCV Research Academy, they are running 3.5 hour, very of 3.5 hour duration only, and around 6 to 8 lessons you will have. You can, I request everyone to do this certification because this will help you what a reviewer is expecting from the author. If you are very convergent with this review process, it is easy for you as an author to write a paper, right? So if as a reviewer, you know, and as an author, you know how to write that so that your paper will be accepted in the review process. So this is the one you can see. LCV Research Academy, you can search in the Google, you will get a list of courses available, and there is one particular course, how to
Sir,
review a
even
research.
Publons has a course, sir.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Even Publons, Coursera,
Yes.
everywhere you have. That also we can, I'm giving one example, right?
Ah, yes.
Right. Next question, next point is, can we become as a part of peer review or as a reviewer? Yes, we can uh, approach or we can try for peer review, because what is the advantage of this one is, because as a reviewer, you know how to review the process. When your role is a author, you know how to cover or how to write the paper. So you can have both the benefits once you become as a reviewer. So ethics for peer review. So what editor look for reviewers? So these are all things. If you are a doctorate with good research publications, you can become a reviewer. So you can become a reviewer. Later, you can become some associate editor, then editor. So this is the cycle of the editorial process. So you can start running your own journal also. So these are some benefits you can have if you are able, if you are a reviewer. Right. So these are some repeated questions only. What is makes a good reviewer? What is a bad reviewer? How to address a comments and responding to reviewer comments. So once you receive comment from the editor, carefully read that decision letter. Uh, Mostly rejections will be common because you should be in a position to accept that situation. Then revise the paper as per the comments and resubmit to another journal. Next, if you are receive a decision as accept with major revision, just go through the comments, address each and every comment with more politely, and giving full kind of respect to all the reviewers and editors, right? And you can include all your co-authors in that process also. So you should be very patient when submitting for review comments, because these are the review comments will make you a positively accepted paper into rejected, or a lower accepted paper will be strongly accepted. So that this all depends on the patience and interest time, right? And some top 10 rules for getting published. So read many papers, and the more objective you can be about your work, so better work. So good editors and reviewers will be objective about your work. Learn to live with rejections. So these are some suggestions for getting the paper to be published. Right. So I think these are from my sides. Okay, ma'am, anything from your side? I hope I covered all the topics what I plan to cover. Yeah, I think 1 second, 1 second. Very important one. You can use a particular tool is there, tc5.ai. There is a one particular tool, tc5.ai. There you can upload your paper, and just you can see the how it beautiful it will help you in drafting your paper. Like, so you can see, right, so there is one paper that I have uploaded, and see what is the feedback given by this is feedback summary, where I can improve, what is the overall assessment, what are the recommendations, and this one you can get every information. So what are the weakness in your paper? What are the strengths in your paper? What are the additional things you can do so that your paper get be published? So it's look like a supervisor, a validator, a reviewer, and a suggestion kind of support. You can get everything you can get. So tc5.ai is the best source. So there you can see everything. What is the summary of your paper, and what are the keywords? Whether the keywords you have selected is as per the abstract or template are. So what are the major claims in the paper? Whether the conclusion is drafted correctly or not. Conclusions, then main methods. So you can have every information here. So what are the alternative similar kind of papers which are already published according to your, whether you have mentioned those papers in the literature or not, that is also you can get. So like you can have all this uh, in this one. So I suggest everyone, once the paper is ready or before submitting, you can go through this one. You can have a fully validation on this, and you can improve further and then go for submission, which will helps in review process or in the acceptance stage also it will help. And there is one more is there, answer this. There is one more website is there, answer this. So this is also will help you in summarizing, getting feedback, improving your document. What are the weaknesses in the paper? The novelties clearly you are highlighting. What are the contribution? Whether you are clearly explaining the procedure on everything, it will help you in understanding your research. Right. So that is from my side, madam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
And
You
I'm sorry,
explained very
ma'am. I took some extra time.
no problem, sir. No problem. You explained very clearly in today's session about selecting good quality journals for publishing our papers,
Yes.
how to avoid predatory journals, the checklist for submitting a paper. It was also very useful. And about peer review, you explained, sir. Sir, we have some doubts from
Yes, ma'am.
the
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
participants. Um, Vandana ma'am has asked, please share the list of SCI index journals. It will be helpful.
Ma'am, this is a very frequent question. I used to give the answer is please don't ask anyone this kind of question, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Because if you ask me, I have my own way of interest, my own way of searching and all, right? That may be useful, may not be useful. But instead of that, you can go for, I said, na, Simago Journal, SJR. So there you can, there is one thing, see, journal ranking is there, right? So there you can give your subject area, subject category, or the which country the publisher is from, what kind of paper you want to search. You can have your filters here. At the end, you can get the download option here. Just go there, download it, and you have very reduced information. Then you can, the next step, explore it. Uh, you can take a decision, or else go for journal finder, researcher dot life is there. That's a very good option. There also you can just paste your abstract title and abstract. You will be notified with only most suitable, with highly matching journals, with all details like publication, APC, and all. So that is also very useful. Don't please don't ask anyone like share a list like this because it changes to person to person.
Sir, the next question is how to make the paper a good quality one for getting accepted in SCI journal.
Go with APC, madam.
Okay, sir.
Go with APC. In the introduction, in the abstract only, you should mention what is the novelty or what are the outcome or something contribution so that it is something different with others one. In the abstract, in the last paragraph introduction, after your methodology, last paragraph introduction. So highlight your novelty contributions in what way it is better with different with other papers, right? And in the literature also you should mention some tables year-wise in decreasing order, a table format. In the last column you should specify the research gaps in the existing studies, and these gaps you are addressing as your proposed work. So like you, if you maintain this kind of setup with the full APC you want to go, you can go. And if you are going with APC, mostly double blind review will be there. The chances will be better compared to normal process.
So next question is from Mamta ma'am. Among SCIE and ESCI journals, which is recommended? SCIE and
No, no,
ESCI.
yeah, yes, yes, madam. If SCI means Science Citation Index, the actual problem is there should be one category like Engineering or Technology Citation Index. But in Web of Science, we don't have that. Even in Springer also, we don't have that. Even in Elsevier also, we don't have because Elsevier, Springer, or the Web of Science, whoever it is, they're majorly focusing on science related aspects where engineering and technology as a part of science only. IEEE is the only one. IEEE is the only one which will focus only on engineering studies. One second. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry. So engineering only IEEE is maintaining, but IEEE it's a commercial actually. They don't want this kind of indexing and all. So that's one story. The reason for science citation indexing and emerging, both are related to science only. And technically, SCI, every paper where some impact factor is there, they are coming under SCI only. Their evaluation sheet will be like that. Emerging sources where arts group, science group, mostly. I think you understand the point, madam. Social related publications. So they are coming under multidisciplinary. So these kind of journal, they are under emerging sources. Obviously, SCI, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Sir, another question. If we submit a paper to Thesify,
Hmm.
is there a chance of plagiarism later?
No, no, madam. No, madam.
It won't go into any repository or
No,
anything, sir?
madam. No, madam. No, madam.
Oh, okay.
No, no. Not only
Fine,
TC5,
sir.
no other similar to kind of tools they won't maintain. But still if you have a doubt also, you have, once you log in your profile, if you say memory disable, even in chat gpt
Yes, sir.
also if you say
The settings and all that we have to be little careful.
that is also one thing. And even these are all llm models, so llm models already overfilled with lots of data, madam, so they won't consider
Yeah.
this.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. So I think that's all for the doubts now, sir.
Okay,
Um, so we'll close the session, sir. Excellent session, sir. Thank you very much for sparing your time.
thank you, madam.
Good night, sir. Good
Bye.
night, everybody.
Sitama.
Yeah, yeah. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening,
night.
madam.
And
Good
yeah,
evening.
it is very useful and
Thank you,
it's
madam.
like insightful session.
Madam.
Definitely. So as sir suggested, I think in future everybody should select their own journal format or anything which they would like to go ahead, it is better to select on their own or by discussion with their peer group or friends. And accordingly, it is better to select upon
Yep.
discussion within the peer group. But better not to ask anyone to which journal we submit. That's all. That is the thing that we understood upon from the past few months because of the publishing policies and also the the type of journals that we are going to get also is nowadays very difficult. So as sir told, it is better to go ahead with respect to the guidelines given and select on our own better.
Yeah. Then one general point, madam.
Mm.
In LC work, in IEEE, there is some concession period is going, ma'am. If those who are
Okay.
like some journal they are charging only 20% of full APC
Okay.
in LC work, and in IEEE also there is some concession up to 25%. Like they will charge up to 50%. Right. So no need to pay full amount even if we go for APC also. So
Yeah, that is
that yes, that is
better.
that's good. Yes.
As several tools are there, maybe individually some has to spend time and they should be patient enough and they should some time. So maybe that is what it is, individual priorities as per the person. That is the reason I am trying to get several sessions like this because of the priorities. Anybody will be benefited. So maybe you can just think of it and have some time and accordingly you can prepare the article. And in the last session also sir gave how to get a good article based upon our problem statement. You can select problem statement, you can select the title of the paper, and accordingly you can progress. Several tools are there. I hope all the participants or other people who are attending this webinar series will get the insights and they will be on the job and at least plan to submit one journal paper within 2 months at least. If you start working from now, maybe it may take 1 month, or because of the resources, it may take less than 1 month also. Only thing is, you have to spend some time. So that's all from my side. Best wishes to all of you, and thank you, Prasanna sir,
Ma'am, thank you.
once again. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
We'll close the session now.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Let us all leave the session. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.